shame. This edition is going to be slightly different from the other ones so far, in that this is going to be a text adventure. I hope that won't put you off, because this is really quite a good one. It's by Jeff Larson. His company was Larsoft. Written with the Quill, but he produced all of his adventures with the Quill, as far as I'm aware. But they were really good quality. This was a game that I did play, as I say, on the Electron. This is the BBC version, but I think they're basically the same. I will be working here from a walkthrough. Got to make that clear, because I can't remember after all these years exactly how it went, but I want to go through the whole thing. The story is set in Cornwall, in Bude, in the past, in the age of the smugglers and the possibility of magic and witchcraft going on. The game was actually supplied with a tarot card, just to give that strange, sort of weird feeling. And off we go, I suppose. I'm standing outside the Kingfisher Inn on a road leading south. A promenade is east of me. There is a small island about 90 yards offshore to the east. Now we go east. On the east-west promenade outside the village store, steps lead down to the beach below. We actually go into the store. I don't know if that will work. Yes. Inside the store there is a treasure of goods on display. I can see a small stack of flour. We've got to get the flour and then go out. Then we go east again. Eastern end of the promenade outside a trinket shop. Sign hangs in window and steps lead down. Now this was a brilliant place to actually get stuck for a short period. Why? Because you actually have to wait for the shop to open. How do you do that? Well, you can type wait, or you can just press return. So the walkthrough says to do it about 25 times. So here we go. We've done 1, 2. Does that work? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Now we should be able to go into the shop. It worked. Inside the shop, amidst a plethora of shining delights, a sign on a shelf by the window reads Caveat Emptor. I can see an old woman and a wooden figurine. I apparently have to examine the shelf. There I can see a silver snuff box and a Grecian urn. I also have to examine the urn. And in there I find a clod of earth. I will get the clod of earth. The walkthrough by Dave E. warns me that if I take any of the other items I will get a beating from the locals. I won't do that. I will leave the shop and I will go west, west, south and south to an abrupt halt at an ornate gateway. I go through the gate and I'm inside the parsonage grounds. A beautiful gate opens out north onto a road. The parsonage is west. I can also see the parson. Doesn't say if I can see the parson's nose. Let's presume that I can. The thing to do here is I have to keep looking until the parson gets bored. So it says it takes about 20 inputs. Can you imagine working this out by hand? Really, it was a matter of trying to remember. Well, you had to kind of work out the times that certain things happened and then plot your solution around those key times. He's gone. Right. We go west and we can hear the squire talking. Let's just have a quick listen to soak up the atmosphere. Oh, I'll just read what it says here. Wooden eaves protrude over the front door of the parsonage. Through the window I see the parson. I can also see a trowel and indeed the squire talking. So what's the squire taking? So I might have... I can't even read. So I have sent my family away for the night. Actually, I suppose it's possible the squire couldn't read, but let's not get too caught up in it. Get the trowel. Never forget your trowel. And we'll go east, north, 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 east, east, and down Hobbling carefully across the pebbled beach, I can go east or west. Steps climb up to the promenade. Wash the clod in the seawater to reveal a ring. Now go east. I am on the pebbled shore and cannot go further east. Go onto the revealed tombolo. The stone tombolo connects the mainland to the offshore island, which is north. The beach is down from here. Follow the path north, up, and north to the old house. We now are at a place where a brass bell hangs beside the door of an old house. The path goes south. I can also see a dead tree. Well, let's assume that that's not going to be terribly talkative, so we need to ring the bell. There is a man here, and the dead tree is also still here. We talk to the man. His eyes focus on the ring, and he invites me inside. Enter. And choose a tarot card. As requested. I expected you, he says, pointing to the table. I have been reading that which the cards foretell, and your destiny is linked with mine. Please choose just one of the cards so that I may know what the outcome may be. The Fool, which in fact, of course, was the card that came with the game. You saw that coming. He shakes his head sadly. Find Baines the fisherman. Say that I, Tregareth, sent you. Now, where am I? I will be told what to do next. I then have to leave and go south, down, west, up, west, and west. I'm standing outside the Kingfisher Inn. We were here earlier. I enter the inn, which should now be open. Good. I can enter the inn. Oh, the perils of text adventures. You have to get the wording just right. Let's read the plaque. In Greek mythology, one of the Pleiades, Alcyone, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing this wrong, threw herself into the sea when Ceyx, her husband, died in a shipwreck. The gods transformed the unhappy couple into kingfishers, or halcyons. Now we leave, and we keep looking until darkness falls, and a lantern is placed before me. So enjoy the pressing of L. Oh, it's getting dark. Do I have to wait? Do I have to keep doing this until the lantern is... Yes, hang on. A lit lantern. We get the lantern. Okay. And we go south, west, west, and west. We now go into the cottage. Oh, I should read this, shouldn't I? The road west curves past a cottage, whilst a leaf-covered lane leads south. Smoke comes from the chimney. Somebody is inside. They might be on fire. I'm in a warm, welcoming room inside the fisherman's cottage. I can also see a wizened old fisherman. Now, I talk to the man. Nice to meet you. I'm Baines. Sorry about this. Can't resist doing a voice. And I have to say that Tregareth sent me. Take whatever you need, he says. He's given us a compass and a pentacle. Da, da, da. Now, I have to actually get the compass and then leave and follow the road west, west. Oh, let's read this quickly. The coast road climbs steeply westwards, and I see the homes and buildings of the small village far below to the east. I can hear strange voices and the sounds of horses all around me, but there is no one to be seen. Creepy. I've got to go west again. Here, The coast road bends northwards around bleak moorland. A smaller road climbs higher south through moorland. More moorland. A ghostly white coach races past me, drawn by 6 white horses. A pale face with a twisted smile peers out from within. You still with me? Or are you frightened? Well, we've got work to do. Go S into a dense mist. S south. This high ground is enmeshed in thick mist and I cannot see the road. We wander west and south. Through the mist I can see that I am on the crest of a hill which slopes down gradually. Well, I think inevitably we are going to go down and down again. I'm within a quiet coombe, is this? Sorry. Is this, you have to read these words out loud that you've never really said before, I think that's a coombe. In the hollow... Yes, it would be coombe, wouldn't it? Because I've been to Ilfracombe, so yes. I'm within a quiet coombe in the hollow of the surrounding hills. A track leads back up the hill, and I see the entrance to a large manor house. Go into the manor courtyard. This is the courtyard of the Squire's manor. A large window looks into a library, and the house is in total darkness. The stables are west. I can also see a black cat. Meower. Has anybody got one of those cat dictionaries? We can look up what it actually says. We have to lift the window. Okay. Meower. The cat approves. Go through the window. Vast number of books adorn the walls of the library. He's obviously just got them stuck to the walls, maybe nailed there. There is an exit east. And yes, we then walk east. And east again. We're in the study, which is dominated by a huge painting which reaches almost from the floor to the ceiling. Now, we have to empty the sack, which is now flour strewn around, and we retreat west. We hang around by hitting return until we hit return on a nearby keyboard until we hear movement within the study. Oh, there we go. Sound of heavy footsteps coming from within the study. We can now go east and examine those footprints. They lead to a corner of the room. I hear the sound of heavy footsteps coming from within the study. So we examine the corner that they lead to. There is now a loose tile. We move the tile and pull the rope. Note the end of a rope is now visible to reveal that something happens. It's an opening. I can see an opening. We go opening. I am at the south end of a secret passageway. The opening has closed behind me. I hear the sound of heavy footsteps, blah, blah, blah. I'm kind of criticising the writing here. I'm kind of just sort of making fun of it. This is a quill adventure. The quill was very limited, and we are talking about a 32K machine here. So, he's done as well as he can with the limitations provided. I'm being unfair, and it was a good game. I don't want to give that impression that I was sort of sneering at it back in the day. It's a game I enjoyed. So we've gone opening, and now we go north. This is the north end of the hidden passage. The floor echoes to the sound of my step, and we can hear other steps too. We have to examine the floor. There's a trapdoor, and lift the trapdoor. Steps lead down. We go down. Ah, the white coach, we saw that earlier. And see, these men weren't ghosts. They are smugglers. We go east, and north. standing beside a crypt in the churchyard. Grass paths, that's a bit of a tongue twister, curve west and east. I can also see a lich owl. I hear the sound of heavy footsteps coming from within the study. Wow, that's quite a distance away now, isn't it? He must be really stamping around. We go... Where else are we going to go at this point? We go into the crypt. I am inside the crypt. A tunnel leads into darkness. Kegs lie all around marked for London. I hear the sound of "We Know." And I'm going to now go along the tunnel, which is littered with kegs. The walkthrough actually says keys at this point, but obviously they've been kegs. The crypt lies south, and the tunnel slopes down northwards into fresh air. Go north and east, past the clump of trees to the shore. Dig here with the trowel. Can I do that? I see a wooden chest. Oh, by the way, I am on the shore, with paths forking west and south. A customs vessel is patrolling offshore and searching the coastline. Wooden chest. Extremely loud, heavy footsteps. We open the chest, and inside is a flare. We get the flare and light the flare. Whoosh! The flare rockets skywards. A launch speeds towards the shore, and I hear shouts behind me as the smugglers rush, panic-stricken in a vain attempt to escape arrest. I hear a horse neigh nearby. I hear the sound of heavy footsteps coming from within the study. Bear in mind, all this, the panic and everything, we can still hear those footsteps way back in the study. We go west and go into the clump of trees. And here is a white horse. Presumably one of the ghostly horses we saw before. It says get horse. Shall we do that? Yeah, okay, get horse. I'm carrying a horse, apparently. Let's ride the horse. And I can go south, east, south to Snake Lane, where it will throw me off. I'm on Snake Lane, which slopes down to the shore, exits are north and south. The horse whinnies, throws me sideways and disappears. I hear the sound of heavy footsteps coming from within the study. How far away are we now? Yes. The funny thing is, every time I read a description from it, I just carry on reading this about the footsteps, because it just feels like surely they will have stopped saying this by now. If I go south, I will be faced with a short man with a gun. A signpost points to the headland north from the east-west coast road. I can also see a short, stocky man. Will take it for granted that he's got a gun. I will examine the man. He is holding a gun. "Do not move," he snarls. "I perpetuated the myth of Vienna to keep people away whilst we landed my smuggled goods." I hear the sound of heavy footsteps coming from within the study. I'm going to assume that he said that. I should explain at this point that the legend of Vienna was supposed to be this witch that lived in the area, and the big portrait that was in the house earlier was supposed to be of Vienna. The inlay card of the game had a picture of her, which was supposed to be the portrait. So there you go. That's the backstory, which I should have probably explained at the beginning. Now, I do not have to escape here because he will shoot. So I just hit return until Trigareth attacks him from behind. So, I suddenly noticed Trigareth, the tarot reader, treeping up behind the gunman. Both men will plunge over the cliff edge. Oh, here we go. With a mighty leap, Trigareth throws himself at the squire. Furiously, they both struggle for the gun. Then I watch helplessly as the two men tumble over the cliff edge into the yawning sea far below. Now, if I hit return 3 more times, the church bell should toll. I hear the tolling of the church bell. There is somebody there. We go east, south, and south. and then we enter the Lich Gate. We go west, tombstone on the ground, and go onto the church porch. I can see the parson. The dawn comes. I talk to the parson. Perhaps it's Nicholas Parsons, game show host extraordinaire and family entertainer. Tregoreth was a good man, he says, who gave his life in dispelling the legend of Vienna, and we shall always remember him. The authorities will want to hear your evidence. They are waiting for you now at the inn. And they can hear the sound of heavy footsteps coming from within the study. We leave this area and we go east. We go gate, north, north and east. The coast road runs up westwards past a sheer drop into the sea below. Farther out, white horses ride majestically over the rolling waves. I can also see a kingfisher, which maybe kind of hints that the legend that we saw earlier might have been true. And now that the hex had ended, the halcyon days were to last for a long time to come. End of game. And those footsteps had stopped as well. So that's Hex by Jeff Larson. It's certainly worth exploring. I hope if this has sort of whetted your interest for this game, he did write a number of other games, but also you might want to play this game yourself and you know, explore some of the things that I breezed past. You know, there were things to examine and look at and to read that we didn't actually touch, and also you can see what happens if you don't do things the proper way, you know, see what happens if you fail. But for now, that is Chain. Thanks very much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe.